Audio Jungle.
Here is the national news from BGI TV Current. I am Mobire Rebila Lawal. First, the headlines. Organized labor to meet President Bola Tinubu government on Monday. Nema, Nimet, Nihsa to Nigerians expect heavy rainfalls, floods soon. DSS calls for vigilance over plots to attack worship centers during Eid. I'm still available to play for Super Eagles. Now the news in detail. The organized labor will again meet with the representative of Bola Tinubu-led federal government at the presidential villa, Abuja, on Monday, June 26. Report that both sides would be meeting to look into ways of cushioning the effect of the removal of subsidy on the premium motor spirit, PMS. It is understood that a meeting, which is a follow-up meeting to the one held on Monday, June 19, was the fourth in a series of negotiations between the government and organized labor since the removal of this fuel subsidy. In a chart, Tommy Etim, Vice President TUC, said during the last meeting, the special advisor to the President on Energy, Mrs. Olu Virgin, unveiled a roadmap, but the terms of reference were not unveiled. Etim added that organized labor will send a list of its members who will form part of the subcommittees of the main steering committee. Going on to the next story. The National Emergency Management Agency, Nema, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Nimet, and the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, Nihsa, have predicted a high probability of flooding across the country as a result of heavy rainfall in the month ahead. The agencies, which released their 2023 seasonal climate prediction and annual flood outlook earlier this year, said they were taking proactive steps to downscale on possibility averting impending flood disasters. NEMA's Director General Mustafa Ahmed announced that a team of experts from Nimet, Nihsa, and NEMA had been deployed in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory to handle any eventuality. Mustafa spoke in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, at the opening of a sensitization workshop on the downscaling of disaster early warning measures to the grassroots for effective life-saving early actions during the 2023 rainy season. According to him, the result indicated that there would be early onset of rainfall and high probability of flooding across the country, hence the need to take proactive measures to mitigate the envisaged disaster. The vital document contained meteorological forecasts indicating early onset of rainfall and high probability of flooding across the country during the year. Earlier, as part of our disaster risk communication, we wrote letters to all governors and responsible partners, drawing their attention to imminent floods and associated secondary hazards during the rainy season to avoid a repeat of what we experienced last year. Moving on to the next story. The Department of State Services, DSS, has called for vigilance ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebration, saying that reports indicated plans to attack worship and recreational centers before and during the festivities. This was contained in a statement by the spokesperson for the secret police, Peter Afunaya, which was made available on Thursday. The DSS also advised operators and patrons of public places, including markets and malls, to be watchful and report any suspicious movement and persons to the relevant security agencies. The service said it will continue to partner with sister agencies for necessary proactive calls and drills to frustrate criminals and their activities. The statement also disclosed that a joint security team comprising the DSS, the Nigerian Army, and the Nigerian Police Force carried out operations in Nasarawa and Kogi State, neutralizing and apprehending some criminals. According to Afunaya, the team apprehended Abubakar Mohammed, aka Abu Direba, a suspected gun runner, on 19 June 2023 along the Abuja-Kefi Expressway in the Kefi local government area of Nasarawa State. The statement added that in another joint operation in the early hours of Thursday, a team raided the hideout of Kabir Bala, aka Oko, a one-time jailbreaker and notorious gang leader in the Ejule Ofu LGA of Kogi State. Oko and his gang members were said to have engaged the troops in a gun duel during which he was neutralized, with others fleeing the area. From that story, we go to the next story. The police have discovered the remains of Justice Zunda, the protocol officer to the chief of staff of the immediate past governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. Zunda's remains were exhumed from a shallow grave in the forest in El Birada community, a Mowa local government area of Rivers State. He was killed in Isiodu community, Omoa LGA, by a notorious cult gang led by Umodi Onuigwe. Onuigwe was killed by the Rivers State Police Command last week alongside 3 members of his gang. Information led that a member of the same cult group who was arrested led men of the Rumuchi Police Division together with local vigilante group in the area to the location where the body of Zunda was buried. The body was deposited in a mortuary within Emohia LGA after it was exhumed. The police team was accompanied by the local government chairman of the area, Chidi Lloyd. Onuigwe, before his death, had demanded 150 million naira from the family of the deceased, which was reportedly paid. From that scenario from River State, we'll go to sports. Odion Jude Igalo has said he's still willing to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Igalo opted out of the international football scene at the end of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations hosted by Egypt. The 34-year-old scored 5 goals to emerge top scorer at the competition, with the Super Eagles finishing in 3rd position. The forward later rescinded his decision and was called on to the Super Eagles for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, but his then Saudi club Al Shabaab blocked him from taking part. Igalo is, however, now ruling out the possibility of making a return to the team. I do not think about the national team conversations for now, Igalo told Elegbete TV on interview. You never can say never, because the last time I announced my retirement, it felt too soon. But now, I do not have a lot to say, other than continue my club football and see how life goes. That ends the national news from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some headlines. Organized labor to meet Tinubu government on Monday. Nema, Nimet, Nihsa to Nigerians. Expect heavy rains, floods soon. DSS calls for vigilance over plot to attack worship centers during Eid. Police exhume body of government house staff killed by cultists. And on sports, I'm still available to play for Super Eagles, Jude Odion Igalo. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. And for advert placement integrated services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Juma Mufida to all faithful Muslims all around the world. Good afternoon. I am Mobire Rabila Lawal.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.